Hello and welcome to my month 19 wrap up. I've got great news for you if you prefer vlogs to recaps, and bad news if you prefer recaps. Because next month I have got back on the vlog horse, so hopefully you will have a great vlog to watch. But in the meantime, here is a recap. If you are new here, I would highly recommend you take the time to go back and watch my intro videos for my TBR 0 project, explaining the rules, my motivations, why I'm doing it, how it all works. Because here we are, it's month 19, and all I'm going to do in this video is tell you what books I read and what I thought of them, and do my tally, so you can see how successful I have been this month at reducing my TBR. So, here we go. First up, I finished reading The Hearing Trumpet by Leonora Carrington. I loved this book. I wish I had read it at university when we were doing the Surrealist and like a kind of intro to literature module, because I enjoyed this so much more than the like books by dudes that we had to read then. This was fantastic. It was just so funny and so sort of wry, and yeah. It's ridiculous. The plot is bizarre, but it's just wonderful. It includes some of my favourite quotes and books of all time. "You never know," said Carmela. "People under 70 and over 7 are very unreliable if they are not cats. You can't be too careful." It's just incredible. I love that. And it continues on. There are several quips and phrases in this book which I just think are genius alone. The plot itself is of course bizarre, it being a surrealist novel. So it's about a 92-year-old woman who gets sent to basically an old people's home with a difference. It's basically being run by some weird sort of like kind of Christian scientific cult. But while she's there, she meets some other strange old ladies and gets caught up in a different kind of culty plot that brings on the end of the world, or is a way of saving the world a little bit during the end of the world. It's complicated. It's very difficult to explain, but it's so much fun. I just enjoyed this so much, I can't even tell you. I enjoyed it so much that I want to get like a nicer copy of this book, because this is quite a beat up, yellowed, weathered, it's got some like gross kind of staining inside, copy that I got second hand. I'm going to hold on to it for now, because I might lend it to friends, you never know, but I'm going to keep an eye out for a nice, shinier, newer copy that I can keep, and then give this one away, because yeah, it's just that little bit too battered, and because it's not me who battered it, I'm suspicious of the stains. So there we go. Then I read another TBR book. I read Just for December by Laura Jane Williams. This is, I think, the third or fourth Laura Jane Williams books I've read. Well, I'll stop. The Love Square, and the one where she like breaks up with her fiance and then goes on honeymoon without him. Yeah, so yeah, I think this is my fourth. I think my favourite one was probably The Love Square, but I did enjoy this. This is about a very grumpy, bitter romance writer who has, for contractual reasons, to appear on the set of a movie that's being made of one of her books. And while she's there, she learns that this was at the behest of this very successful Hollywood actor. And he's got a bit of a thing for her writing, and she is trying very hard to resist his charms, but obviously things happen. What I really liked about this was how it delved into sort of the darker side of the character's past, and explored why that was making it so difficult for them to find relationships. Like he is the sunshine, but he has a lot of insecurity, and she is very bitter because of her father, and she thinks that love is really just something that people make up to put in books and films. So yeah, enjoyed this. It is not as Christmassy as the cover might make out. I feel like you want one where it is like heavy on the like Christmas festivities. This is not it, because they're on a film set. They're sort of travelling around Germany to go to different locations. You know, it doesn't have like all of those like incredibly festive elements that you typically get in a Christmas book, but it is set at the right time and is themed around the right kind of things. So yeah. But on a scale of like festiveness, I'd probably say it's about a 3 rather than a 5. Then I finished reading, despite the bookmark, I'll explain the bookmark in a moment, Inciting Joy by Ross Gay. So this is a follow-up to The Book of Delights, which is an absolutely incredible book that I read a couple of years ago and absolutely loved. I got this last Christmas, not the one that's just been, but the one before that, because I wanted to read more of his work, and I will definitely be adding basically all his other books to my Christmas list in the future because I loved this so much. This was like next level. The Book of Delights was great. It was fantastic. But this, wow, this book, this incited intellectual joy for me. I just had so much fun, like reading it and thinking about the things that he was thinking about. So basically, it's about joy, but kind of like the different relationships that can bring us joy and the different types of things that people can do together to find joy. It's kind of hard. It's hard to describe it. It covers everything from gardening to basketball to grief, and it's just fantastic. But I've got this bookmark in here because at one point he starts like talking about different like bits of music, and I wanted to actually be able to go back and listen to bits of music, so I stuck in a spare bookmark at that point, and now I've read the whole book. And I am, when I'm sitting at my computer, going through and finding some of the songs on Spotify and listening to them. So yeah, making the most of it. Absolutely loved this book. Highly recommend. If definitely book of the month, which is a lot to say considering that I also read The Hearing Trumpet this month. But this is number one. Then I finished reading The Comfort Food Café by Debbie Johnson. So this is actually a new book in the Comfort Café series. I think it's book 7. I love this series. It is just my favourite kind of cosy, war, romantic, but also like heavy on the friendship and community series all the time. I just love it so much. I've been listening to audiobooks over the last couple of years, very out of order, but I've been listening to them nonetheless, and they have just they've become a part of my life, and I love them very much. Anyway, The Comfort Food Café is the unexpected 7th book in this series because it was officially declared done at book 6. Like, the author had put on social media that the series was done and everything, and there was, I think, even like a prologue, epilogue thing in the final book that kind of imagined the future for the characters. But she's back. She's writing the series again, so I'm hoping there will be many more books to come. Exploring the Comfort Food Cafe. So this is set quite a few years after the previous book. Like, some of the characters from the previous books have moved on to other things or passed away. You know, like a lot has changed in the lives of the characters of the Comfort Food Cafe and the town of Budbury, where it is based. But this story follows a newcomer to Budbury, as I feel like the best books in a Comfort Food Cafe series do. So she's a woman who has just been recently divorced. Like, her husband split up with her, left her for another woman, and she has really, really struggled to kind of find herself after that. And then her daughter applies for a job for her at the Comfort Food Cafe on her behalf and kind of tells her after the interview date's been set and everything. And she is like, I'm just going to go on and I'm going to say to this woman, sorry, I don't want this job. But she goes on, she gets talking to Laura from the Comfort Food Cafe, and she ends up taking the job and moving to Budbury and, living happily ever after. But, you know, obviously we get to see all the ups and downs along the way, and it is great. Then I listened to Summer at the Comfort Food Cafe, which is actually the very first book in the Comfort Food Cafe series about Laura. And her own kind of story of moving to the Comfort Food Cafe to take up a job after she is bereaved. Her husband, unfortunately, dies after an accident. And she moves there with her 2 children, and it's supposedly just for the summer. But, you know, obviously she ends up staying. Because several years later, she's still there, appearing in other books. But yeah, it was really great to go back actually and listen to this book, because I never listened to it the first time around because for some reason my libraries, none of them had the first one. So I started with the second book, which I think is set around Christmas. So I got into this series when I was looking for Christmas books actually. And Laura had always been a character in the series. You know, she appears in every single book. But I'd never heard like her story. I'd heard bits and bobs of her story through the other characters when they meet her and they talk to her and everything. I'd never had the whole thing. And oh my god, it was so good. Like, it's just like so it was so emotional, but so like life affirming at the same time. It was just, she went on this really like horrible, sad journey. But then moved to Budbury, started working at the Comfort Food Cafe, and kind of accepted like joy into her life again. And her relationship with her children was just so well done. Absolutely love that book. A++++. Would listen again, especially if I feel like crying. But yeah, that's it. That's me done for audiobooks. Both of those audiobooks I listened to on Spotify. So I think I just sort of managed to time it well with the hours, because my hours like reset partway through the month. But yeah, got those ones done. Then I finished reading The Happy Manifesto, which is a kind of work-related book that I picked up absolutely ages ago. So you can actually download this for free off of Happy Computers, that's what it's called, off of Happy Computers website. Yeah, I found this print copy in like a free book box somewhere and decided to give it a go. It's a really nice little book that kind of combines a lot of case studies and research into what makes somewhere a happy place for people to work, like what you could do to keep your employees happy if you run a business, that kind of thing. It was really, really good. I've seen like quite a lot of it like elsewhere, but in more detail and with less sort of like practical examples. What was really nice about this was how he could be like, we tried this at Happy and this happened, you know, like it made it really like personable. It really brought it alive, like having those examples of how he'd used it in his own business. So yeah, I wish I could give this to everybody I ever worked for, because yeah, it's really good. Probably going to do a post about it on like social media, and I link to it to try to get more people to read it, because as I say, it is a free ebook, you can download it. So yeah, if you're interested at all in how to make businesses work, please go forth and download it. Then I finished my final book of the month, and that is Half-Arse Human by Leena. So I have been a follower of Leena for quite a long time. I joined her Patreon a few years ago, and so I pre-ordered this to get it when it came out, and it was really good. It's sort of a self-help book with a twist. So the idea is that Leena encourages you to half-arse the things that aren't so important to you in your life, so that you have more time and energy for the things that are really important for you to whole-arse, as it were. And I really thought it was a good message. The chapters that are the best are the ones which kind of go into like veganism, because she's talked for quite some time about how to like make a difference even if you find the idea of becoming a like full-time vegan really daunting, and things like that. Like the sustainable fashion one is quite good. I personally really liked the home section, because I have not decorated my home, you know, to like an ideal way, and I don't honestly know where to start. Like I'm quite overwhelmed by the idea of like interior design. There's just so many options, there's so many different things I could do, and not a lot of space in which to do them, and I just find it all quite overwhelming. So kind of hearing her message from here being like, it's okay to half-arse your home, and also like home is more than just like your house and the things in it, it's also your local community. Like I feel like I have been much more asked about community and like getting to know my local area and other people in it than like decorating my house. So I feel actually much more successful thanks to this book, so thanks Leena. I will say that if you're a member of the Gumption Club, you probably will have like heard a lot of this before through from Leena in her forms, whether that's through talking to her on Discord, whether it's through her YouTube videos or like her Patreon podcast. So you might not find this quite as like enlightening as people who stumble upon it in a bookshop. But yeah, I think this is a really great book for people who are interested in self-help and personal development and things like that, but yeah, are overwhelmed by it, because I think Leena is really clear about like, you know, choose what matters to you and don't worry too much about the rest. Like, it's okay, you can half-arse some stuff, you can't do everything, so, you know, why not be intentional about it? So there we go. It is now time for the tally, everybody's favourite bit. Well, this is my favourite bit, and this one's quite simple, because I read 5 books on my TBR this month and 2 books on Spotify, so yeah, there we are. Another good month for getting some books off the old TBR. So yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling excited about month 20. Month 20, wow, I am so close to having been doing this project for 2 years. So yeah, gotta start thinking about how I'm gonna pick up the pace. But anyway, there we go. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books or if you're doing your own TBR 0 project and how they are going. If you are documenting them anywhere, let me know, give me a link, mention that you have your own YouTube channel, etc. You'll see me again soon. Bye!